I tell you, when I started in baseball when I was 12 years old, I never expected to culminate in a thing like this. I feel like the President of the United States.
He was very passionate about Little League Baseball and certainly passionate about serving others. So to have this kind of an honor is very special, and I know that he'd be thrilled.
My name is John Heisler. I'm the chairperson of the Hancock Recreation Commission, and it is just my pleasure and honor to be here with you today when we're going to dedicate two of our Hancock fields in honor of two wonderful gentlemen. And everyone should have a program. We're going to do the entire program other than the sign and unveiling inside the chalet here. And then at the end, we'll go out for the sign and unveiling. That way we don't have to go out and come back in. So hopefully the weather will hold out when we get out there for the sign unveiling. We can take as many pictures as you want. And when we go out for the sign unveiling, I'll ask Gordy and any members of the Schaaf family who would like to, and any members of the Gibbons family who would like to go out and help take that covering off the sign down when we unveil it. So, and you didn't come here to hear me speak, so I'm going to turn the microphone over to our mayor, Mayor Lisa McKenzie, Mayor of Hancock. Mayor McKenzie, the floor is yours.
Thank you, John. I'd like to welcome all the friends, families, residents here today for this really tremendous event. As you well know, the driving park has a great history in our community, from horse racing to baseball to the fair. And this is just a great way to honor two wonderful supporters and of not only the city of Hancock, but of baseball in our communities, Bill Gibbons and Gordy Schaaf. I really greatly appreciate all that you've contributed to the community and continue to contribute to this community. As I look at all the faces of your family and friends that are many of them are residents of the city of Hancock. So welcome and enjoy the rest of the program.
Thank you, Mayor McKenzie. Next up on our list of speakers is Mr. Steve Lasko, who represents the Western Upper Peninsula Planning and Development Region, who the city, I'll take a moment right now and thank Steve and Wupperter for the micro grant that helped pay for a significant portion of the signage for both the Gibbons and the Schaaf fields. Mr. Lasko.
Thank you very much. It's an honor and a pleasure and a privilege to be here with all of you today and to honor these individuals who have done so much for Hancock. It's a pleasure to be able to have implementation of some of the things that we'd like to do in the community. As a planning agency, we work on a lot of plans, and sometimes plans tend to sit on a shelf. And this year, we have funding from the Regional Prosperity Initiative out of Lansing, and we were able to take some funds for placemaking projects. Placemaking is a planning concept that works on a small kind of neighborhood scale to improve a specific area or amenity in a community. And we were able to provide 7 grants, 2 in Hancock, 1 in Houghton, and the other 4 in other communities in our 6-county region for things like signage, pocket parks, augmentation of existing parks, and so forth. And here in Hancock, you were able to get 2 grants, one for Finnish American music at the Torrey that provides a more developed and well-rounded experience there for the guests and visitors, and for the signage at this park. And again, it is just a real thrill to be able to meet Gordy in person and to know the Gibbons family is here, and to work with people like John and Glenn and Lisa and other community leaders and provide some positive, beneficial change to the community, and to give long-time, well-invested citizens that have lived their lives in this community, to give them the recognition that they so very much deserve. And so again, on behalf of Whoopiter and myself, I'd like to thank John for inviting me, and thank you all for attending. We have a full house in this hot little room today, and so I won't take up any more of your time, but again, thank you all, and it's a pleasure and a privilege to be here and to have this opportunity. So thanks again.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you to Whoopiter. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our first family member, representing Bill Givens, whose name is on the Little League field, will be his son Chris, who himself is a new inductee to the Upper Peninsula Sports Hall of Fame. So ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chris Givens.
First of all, thanks to everybody for coming, and want to just start by congratulating Mr. Schaaf and his family on a great honor. In the hockey world, everyone knows of Gordie Howe as Mr. Hockey. I think in the Copper Country, everyone knows Mr. Schaaf as Mr. Softball. So it's very fitting to have his name go on that field. Very deserving honor, well earned over many years. So from the Givens family to you and yours, we just want to congratulate you. I want to thank the Hancock City Council and the Hancock Recreation Commission, Mr. Lasko and his group. We appreciate all of your effort. And then just a few words about my dad. I think it's important for everyone to put some thought into the type of legacy that they want to leave behind when their time on earth here is finished. And I believe my dad had a firm grasp on his legacy well before he passed away. He had a concrete sense of purpose in serving others, both as an educator in the Hancock Public School System and also as a coach and volunteer in Little League Baseball. In both capacities, he served others without ever looking for or expecting anything in return. It was done strictly because he had a huge heart, a kind soul, wished the best for everyone, and was genuinely a good person. My dad was also an excellent Little League baseball coach, and in my opinion was a champion for the game. He didn't concern himself with wins and losses as much as he wanted his players to appreciate the game of baseball and to learn to play it the right way. He also knew the value that baseball presented and the opportunity for him to use it to teach players valuable life lessons. He was aware that his time with those players was very short, but that those lessons that he would teach them, if done properly, could be used for the rest of their lives. The new signage today is a permanent tribute to my dad's legacy. I think he'd be very proud of it. I think he'd be very proud of the improvements that have been made to the field and the tremendous effort that goes into its upkeep. And I know he would be very proud and very happy to have his name attached to it. As a family, we're very proud of my dad. It was difficult, obviously, to lose him, especially at such a young age. He was only 66. But as everyone knows, life doesn't stop for your pain and your problems. So we continue to push on and celebrate my dad's life and the great things that he did and the great man that he was. And certainly the ceremony today and the new signage goes a long way in helping us celebrate his life. So again, to everyone that had a part of it, big or small, from the Givens family, we certainly appreciate it, and we'll just thank you very much for allowing us to have it.
Thank you very much, Chris. I am going to take a moment to interject a few words that I want to share with, particularly with the families, and that is, I fell into the right place at the right time as far as the Hancock Recreation Commission. I just took over as the chairman late last year. Dennis Hagenboo was the chairman for almost 2 decades, and under his leadership, a lot of great recreational improvements were made in the city of Hancock. And a lot of the work that's going on these fields that we're honoring gentlemen for today was started under Dennis's leadership. And I'm in the right place at the right time because I get to be here the day we're honoring these 2 wonderful people. Now, I never had the pleasure of meeting Bill Gibbons. I didn't know him. But I love my friend Barry. And knowing what kind of guy Barry is and listening to Chris's words, I fully understand that not knowing Bill Gibbons was fully my loss. And then turning over to our next honoree, I love my friend Gordy. And if you don't know Gordy already, you're going to have a great appreciation for him in just a couple of minutes here. So without further ado, Mr. Gordy Schaaf, whose name will be adorning the softball field.
The City of Hancock and the Recreation Commission saw what was going to happen in the schools in the Copper Country ahead of time, and they went ahead to prepare the fields for them. High schools now are having baseball, they're having softball, girls and boys, and they needed rooms, and there we go. Build the field and they will come, right? The field of dreams, there it is right there. Putting all these improvements in there costs a lot of money. By the way, thank you all you taxpayers. Now, you know, going back to the start of this all, you're going to go back before your mothers were born and fathers. And who would ever have thought at that time, this was a racetrack. This whole area here was a racetrack. Later on, they put a big wooden fence around it. They're going way back to the 30, 35, 36, 37 year area. And now it turned into something like this, thanks to the City of Hancock Council and their wonderful Recreation Commission led by this gentleman right here. Mr. Gibbons, I want to tell you that I knew your dad very well. We were not only friends, we were also neighbors. And he was a great teacher, and he was a great coach. And it all showed up in the wonderful young man that just spoke here. And his brother Barry, and I don't know Mrs. Gibbons. Anyway, I gotta try to get more comfortable. This is what I get for playing ball for 90 years. Okay, so, build the field and they will come. Well, they're going to come here now at high school. I don't want to repeat myself, but to get another point across, the high schools are a proving ground for you people with your children and your grandchildren to get them in the Little League. Get them in there now. So when they get up into the 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, they'll be eligible to try out for the varsity baseball or softball team. And it could be a big advantage for you. And what they're going to do is earn lifetime friends. I have friends here today that I've known and played ball with or against for 70 years. This is what you call building lifetime friendship, participating in sports. It's not only great for your body, to get all the exercise that's out there. I want to give you a little example of what happens when you play the game and stick with it. Monday night, a couple days from now, go out to Tapiola and watch the over 50 league. These men are 50, 60, and 70-year-olds. 70-year-old plus. Some of them travel 50, 60 miles to get down here to play ball. To watch the quality of these men, still at this age, how they can move, how they can hit a baseball, how they can field a baseball, and how they can run the bases is amazing. watching baseball and participating all my life. And I'm still surprised. I've been watching them for years. I'm still surprised. How can you guys still be that good? They play a high caliber of softball out there at the field. It's just a wonderful thing. It's another thing, all those people are friends. There's never, a player can umpire the game. That's how friendly it is. They don't argue over called strike or called ball. They're just, everybody are friends. When you see them come out of the dugout, like I said, there's a couple of 70-plus players there. They come out of that dugout and run out to that outfield for their positions like they did when they were 30 years old. You know why? Because they stuck with the game. They built great friendships. They're still playing with each other. And they're just all having a wonderful time of it. So if you can get your children interested in playing softball or baseball, that's what you need to do. Maybe I could make a suggestion. Maybe their next Christmas or next birthday, maybe you can buy them a baseball glove. You can, the glove will be autographed with the name of one of their favorite Major League players, and they'll treasure that glove for the rest of their life. So, rather than spend a lot of time with video games, we all want to see them get out and play, and the city of Hancock is providing them with the venue, and there's no reason now why they're not there. But I want to thank all of you for coming here. Some of my friends, this gentleman right here, John Ritchie, I played ball with and against him since he was born. and he's still a hoist the ball player right. So I have friends all over like this. So we've been together for decades. I built friends around the copper country, Escanaba, Iron Mountain, Berg, a lot. And I still have those friends and I'll treasure them forever. And some of them come and visit with me. I got a man on the corner over there, Mr. Pete Pajoni, that comes to visit me every week or two. We've been mostly rivals on the ball field, but we've been great friends. And we're going to go that way the rest of our lives. Thank you all so very, very much. I'm very surprised at the amount of people that came here. So thanks to every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gordy. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful words from a fabulous man. When the city decided to name these fields, and the field was named for Mr. Gibbons last year and for Mr. Schaaf this year, the city council made those decisions. Not only did we want to put up some signage to note the name of the field, we decided we wanted to put up a little bit of narrative text so people who don't know these wonderful gentlemen would have some idea of what their background is and why the fields are named in their honor. And the big sign that's going to be unveiled here in just a few minutes has that narrative text on it. And to read that narrative text to you today, so you know what it says before we unveil the sign, I'd like to call on Mr. John Slevon, who is a member of both the Hancock City Council and the Hancock Recreation Commission. And John is going to read you the narrative text for the signage for both Mr. Schaaf and for Mr. Gibbons.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be here. This is the text that is on the plaque. Which one's?
This is for.
I understand that.
This is on the left and this is on the right.
Okay.
Yep.
On the left, it says, born in 1928, Gordy Schaaf is a Hancock fast-pitch softball legend. He pitched competitively until the age of 57, playing most of his career for Stevenson Chevrolet. Gordy served as president of the Copper Country Fast Pitch League for 37 years and is enshrined in the Michigan Amateur Softball Association Hall of Fame. The city of Hancock named the field in his honor in 2016. And on the other side of the plaque, William Bill Gibbons was a pioneer of area Little League baseball. He coached for over 15 years and served on the Portage Lake Little League Board of Directors. Bill was a father figure to his players, and through his devotion and generosity to Little League baseball, he had a positive impact on the lives of many children in the community. The city of Hancock named this field in his honor in 2015. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And as I said earlier, we're going to have the sign unveiling right at the end of the program, so I'm going to bring in Mr. Glenn Anderson, the Hancock City Manager, for our closing remarks, and then we will all, in an orderly fashion, head outside to look at our sign. Glenn.
Thank you, John. John and I were here earlier and we opened up the air conditioners for today's event. So, although we did forget the fans, so for that we apologize. I do want to acknowledge Maggie and Jack Heisler, who are our hosts today, and let's give them a hand. Our Recreation Commission chairperson for putting together the program, plus the program, the overall program, plus the handout here today, which we appreciate very much. So let's give John a hand for that as well. And first, thank Jupiter especially for funding many of this through that initial grant, and John Heisler again should be credited that he's the one that wrote the grant application on behalf of the city to get this small placemaking grant. So we appreciate again both Jupiter and John for that assistance. I do want to introduce Wayne Butler, City Police Chief is here. Wayne, just raise your hand. And then Bill Marler, DPW Director, is also here. And of course, Lisa and John, as you met before. And
Mary's here.
oh, Mary Pekla from the Rec Commission. Mary, just raise your hand. Thank you. I apologize for not catching that. Just closing comments, obviously, will be my honor. Just, I think it's worthy to note, of course, a lot of great men and women have come through the city of Hancock in the last 153 years. Most of you who live in the city understand and certainly realize that. Bill Gibbons and Gordy Schaaf were two great men who decided to make Hancock their home, and they both embody the individualism, the high character, the volunteer spirit, participants, mentoring, and supporters of both sports, but also the city of Hancock as well. They should be credited for their community leadership as well. We mentioned A.J. Scott, Mayor A.J. Scott in the early 1900s that helped make this park what it is today. You go back to the first mayor of the city, which is Hervey Park. A lot of great men have come through the city. And again, everyone has contributed, including Gordy and Mr. Gibbons, to the vibrancy of Hancock. The two fields and of course the driving park today still remains a really vital, active part of the city. You know, probably it is about 100 years today, or this summer, that probably the fields were changed over from gambling to sportsmanship. And what a nice, interesting history. Imagine the amount of money that was probably bet here in the late 1800s, early 1905s before. There's a poster down at City Hall, you know, showing advertising horse racing gambling event at this particular site. But out of the three fields, we are clearly at either near or at record levels of usership this year, both for teams and for players. As Gordy mentioned, we have the high school softball and hardball teams now. We have a plethora, and I'm probably going to miss a few, but we have the Copper Country men's slow pitch, American Legion baseball, Finlandia's men's baseball, and Finlandia's women's softball. If you heard 11 o'clock, Finlandia's women's softball team was practicing on the Little League Diamond. And I'm sure the men's will be doing that probably on the hardball field this week as well. The Copper Country Soccer Association uses the softball field later in the season for part of their program. And again, just clearly these fields that have as much action this year as they did 100 years ago from a participant perspective, which I think again is a legacy to both men. that this community supports baseball particularly in this realm, and of course many other sports as well. So with that, again, it's just a high honor on behalf of Mayor McKenzie and Council Member Slevon and Rec Commission Member Heisler and Mary Pekala and myself, and so we have the City Council and the Recreation Commission. Thank you all for being here, and we'll go outside from here, right? Mr. Heisler? Absolutely. Thank you.
Families, have the families pull those down, and then we'll pull this poster board off and just drop it to the ground, and everyone can see the new sign.
You want to get this bottom one here? Sure. Want to take the pictures first.
You got to pull the inside, that inside clamp first.
So let's see what you're looking at.
There you go. There you go. All right. And then just drop that out of the way.
If people didn't have the chance to know him, I think they missed out on an opportunity to know a great guy, and so this was nice today to honor him further.
To see all these people here, some travel a long way to get here, knowing that it could be rained out. Everything is going well so far, so I think the Lord is going to take good care of us.